Thank you and good afternoon to everyone. A special thanks to Alan and team for having me send this video message to share with you all, as well as all the co-sponsors to this event. My name is Dr. Deepshikha Vijh, and I serve as the Executive Director for the Lawyers Committee on Nuclear Policy. It is indeed a privilege to be a part of this conversation on a question that goes to the very heart of our collective future. Can common security replace nuclear deterrence? Well, we gather at a moment of profound tension and profound possibility. For decades, global security has rested on a precarious foundation, the doctrine of nuclear deterrence, the belief that peace can be maintained through the threat of catastrophic destruction. But as risks multiply in a world of technological, geopolitical, and environmental complexities, we're increasingly forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Deterrence does not resolve insecurity. It only seeks to manage it by amplifying it. At its core, common security recognizes that lasting peace cannot be built on the threat of destruction, but on cooperation, restraint, and trust. It shifts the paradigm from competitive security, where one state's gain is another's loss, to collective security, where safety is shared and interdependent. Against this backdrop, we have a powerful and growing global call, a statement that is now endorsed by 170 organizations across 37 countries, urging nuclear-armed and allied states to move beyond reliance on nuclear deterrence and towards common security alternatives. This statement is not an abstract or idealistic appeal. It is a practical law-based framework for rethinking how we achieve security in an interconnected world. Importantly, the statement does not simply call for change, it outlines how that change can be realized. It emphasizes the use of established mechanisms within international law, negotiation, mediation, arbitration, adjudication, and the role of regional organizations. These are not new tools, they are indeed embedded within the international legal order, yet they remain underutilized in addressing the very conflicts and insecurities that nuclear deterrence seems to manage. At the center of this framework is a renewed role for the International Court of Justice. The statement calls for better and more consistent use of the court with the long-term objective of achieving universal acceptance of its jurisdiction. This is an important point because without widely accepted legal avenues for resolving disputes, states will often revert to power-based approaches, of which nuclear deterrence is one form of expression. Strengthening the jurisdiction and authority of the International Court of Justice is not merely a legal reform. It is indeed a security imperative. It provides a forum where disputes can be addressed through law rather than force, through reason rather than threats. Some of these ideas are already being advanced through the Law Not War initiative, Legal Alternatives to War, which seeks to strengthen legal mechanisms, including progress towards the universal jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice as a cornerstone of global security. What these efforts collectively underscore is that the tools for common security already exist. What has been lacking is not capacity, but political will and ways to utilize these tools. And yet, the urgency to act has never been greater. In a world where nuclear risks intersect with cyber vulnerabilities, artificial intelligence, and space-based threats, the margin for error is shrinking. Deterrence, which seems to depend on rational actors, perfect information, and flawless systems, is increasingly strained under these conditions. Common security offers a different path, one that reduces reliance on threat-based stability and instead builds resilient, law-based systems of cooperation and accountability. Let's be clear, this is about realism and not wishful thinking. A realism that recognizes that the consequences of failure in a nuclear-armed world are absolute. A realism that understands that security cannot be sustained indefinitely on the capacity for mutual destruction, and a realism that acknowledges that our survival is indeed shared. To conclude, Common security challenges us to move from a system rooted in fear to one grounded in law, from deterrence to dialogue, from the ability to destroy to the responsibility to preserve. Thank you.